heaven there is no beer. That's why we drink it here. And when we are gone from here, our friends will be drinking our beer.
Hello, wonderful listeners, and welcome to Boomy and the Ham, the podcast where our sports conversations will make you feel like you are losing brain cells. I'm Ham, your host, and I'm thrilled to have you join us for another amazing episode of Boomy and the Ham. And here we go. What is up, everybody? This is your host, the Ham, and co-host, Mr. Boomy. After a hiatus, we've kind of lagged a little bit, but we wanted to record around this time to recap week 1 of football and look at Thursday night football. We got the Dolphins and Bills playing right now, but it's officially here. We've made it, dude.
Hell yeah.
I am
We have made it, boys.
yeah, this is the best time of the year. It just rained today in Idaho. I got my pumpkin spice candles ready. The house was clean, and I just sat on the couch. I just sat on the couch and I watched football this afternoon, and I did it all weekend, and it was fucking amazing.
The pumpkin spice latte?
Yeah, probably. I don't remember. I was just so drunk off of football and the Bears and Boise State, and yeah, it was fucking great. Before we get into NFL, and I know we could talk about that forever. Let's recap some of the things that actually happened today. And Boise State is now in the Pac-12.
Yeah, it was Boise State, Fresno State, and 2 other states. I don't remember what they are.
Colorado State and San Diego State joins Washington State and Oregon State. So it's basically the state conference. Because I think we're going to probably
they still need 2 more, I think, to be an official conference.
Yeah, I think they're going to get Utah State, is rumors I've heard. And it would be cool if they could somehow get Cal and Stanford back into the Pac-12. I know it wouldn't feel like classic Pac-12, but I think it would ease some of that pain with what we lost.
I don't know why they didn't do that at the beginning. I don't know why the second they knew they were losing all these teams, why didn't they just go, hey, fucking scrub-ass teams, fucking...
Well, hold on a second.
Mac... I know you're going to say, Boise State's no scrub.
They're not. Okay, I will say this. I'm
get
real.
The smaller D1 schools in there, and maybe you can get enough competition in there to make it a good conference again.
Yeah, and I will be the first to say this. I am very realistic about Boise State football. I am more realistic about Boise State football than I am the Bears football. And Boise State football.
That's not hard.
Well, I literally fucking jerk myself off to get excited about Bears football, and we'll just create all these smoke and mirrors.
I know.
Boise State, I will just call it how it is, and dude, that you guys, they fucking suck. Or, there was a stretch. The team this year looks pretty good. Our defensive line is pretty damn good. And both of our lines are really good. And, how about Ashton Jonty? That dude he's amazing. I don't even know what else to say. He is literally the best running back in college football right now. Easily.
Man, it's only been, 2 weeks so far, and he's got how many yards?
490.
He went off week 1.
And 900 or in 9
He
touchdowns.
went off week 1 and then.
Yeah, he went for 2.
Yeah. Didn't he have 200?
Yeah, against Oregon.
The first one.
Yeah, against Oregon. 200 yards, I think, and 200 yards and 3 touchdowns. I'm pretty sure. He has 9 touchdowns already. The dude is an absolute unit. I think if he keeps this up for...
He's playing NCAA 25, dude.
Yeah, if he keeps this up for the next, I honestly think, 5 weeks, he could definitely be a Heisman contender for sure.
I mean, yeah, I mean his stats are going to probably be so ridiculous that they have to at least put him up at least for consideration. I mean, I know he's not going up against like the SEC and these big fucking schools, but I mean he went up against Oregon and fucking tore them up, and I mean at some point his stats are going to get so ridiculous that you gotta at least consider it.
Yeah, I think
But
I
they'll
don't
probably
know.
put like the same fucking like three quarterbacks that we're always used to,
Yeah, like Jalen
like fucking
Milrow
like
and
whatever SEC quarterback is lighting it up at the moment, which would probably be like Jackson Dart or whatever.
yeah,
Whoever the other fucking
and then
quarterback
that
is, I
kid. I
can't think
think
of his
that
name right off
Gabriel
the
kid out of Oregon is probably on the Heisman watch. Um,
Yeah,
that kid out
there's
of
going to be at least one
Mizzou,
or two quarterbacks up there with
that wide receiver
favoritism.
out of Mizzou.
Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, it's gonna. I mean, we got a long
Oh,
season to
fucking
go,
how?
but
I
I
mean,
mean,
we could
based on his first.
Quinn Ewers. That was an easy one. I mean,
Oh yeah, I forgot about Quinn
yeah,
Ewers. Yeah.
Quinn Ewers. I mean, Quinn Ewers will probably win it. I think if as long as Ashton Jonty is like at least if he keeps this up right, if he's at least in like you know the top five, I think you probably have to put him in there.
Yeah. I mean, definitely. I mean, if he's top five rushing in yards and putting up good amount of touchdowns, I mean, at the very least, yeah, he may not be a finalist, but I mean, you got to put him at least up there.
Yeah, for sure.
But
Um, yeah. So I mean, I'm just honestly so excited that the Broncos are going to be in the Pac-12, and I think that like I said, if they could get Cal and Stanford and Utah State. I honestly would like to see some Montana teams in there too. I think that would be good, and I think that would be a pretty strong conference, honestly. At least a pretty entertaining conference. I don't know how competitive they would all be, but when you move into a Pac-12 or the teams who left the Pac-12 go to the Big Ten or whatever the fuck Big 16 or whatever they call it. You get a chance to play better opponents. So I think it'll be awesome opportunity for Boise State. Um,
yeah,
Alrighty, so I guess is there anything else? Shohei Ohtani is what he's at like.
he just cranked like his 47th or 48th
Yeah,
homer
he's
the other
like
day, and
46 stolen bases, 48 home runs. Like he's about to approach that 50-50. Um, so that's cool. I mean, other than that, baseball's the Cubs are in contention. I think they have the
yeah, the NL wild card is really heating up actually right now. I
yeah
mean, they still got like 18 or 17 games to go, but
yeah. The White Sox are just absolutely dude,
the
that is so bad.
it's seasons like this, like the Carolina Panthers and the Chicago White Sox, that
Mhm.
makes me think that like some of the American Big Four sports should consider what like the Premier League does,
Yeah.
where
Mhm.
they just fucking demote them.
Yeah.
Like I know, like most of the time, if they're doing that bad, like did you see that the Panthers were selling tickets for $1.80 to their home opener?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's like a Bojangles package where you get like a ticket and like some swag to go to a Carolina game. I mean, did you see
Yeah,
the
it's
did you see the 9/11
insane.
posts?
No, I didn't.
Basically, people on X were like, Carolina's like never forget yada yada yada, and people on Twitter were like, this is worse than 9/11. Like Hassan Saddam
Yeah,
Hussein as our defensive coordinator, like fucking blow this shit up. Like it's pretty good.
dude,
But dude, Carolina is
it blows my mind. It blows my
I
mind that nobody wants to go to these fucking games. I mean, how did they butcher this season or like these last like 3 or 4 seasons so bad?
dude, I
Like,
just feel so bad for Bryce Young because like he
I don't think he's that bad.
I
I think
don't
his team
either,
is
dude.
just
Like
awful.
exactly. I cannot convince myself that Bryce Young is that bad. I can't do it.
No, like I don't think he should have been the number one pick because Stroud is showing that he's so much
But
better.
I think coming
But
out
I
of
mean,
college, like
he's still
Bryce Young is a
yeah,
prospect
he looks
of
good.
Bryce Young's a prospect of Nick Saban, so I think he gets the points for that, right? And you know that he's
Yeah,
being
I mean,
developed correctly. I don't think he was
yeah,
better than I don't think what's the hell CJ Stroud was better than Bryce Young coming out of college. I think like Bryce Young was the clear consensus on the number one pick. Um,
yeah.
but like, dude, I will say this because I have probably the best experience out of any team to speak on this, and I think it's a confidence thing, man. Like I watched the Bears absolutely ruin Mitchell Trubisky and Kyle Orton and Rex Grossman, and I mean Jay Cutler was the most mediocre or consistent thing we had. We knew he was going to pass for 400 yards a night and throw 25 interceptions a year. Um, but Justin Fields, like these kids come in, and I always and like that's the thing that pissed me off about the Bears, especially with the last two quarterbacks we have. And if we do it to Caleb Williams, like it is going to be very, very hard for me to like I'm gonna of course be a Bears fan, but I'm not gonna like go to games and shit until we can get our shit together. Um, but it's very hard for me to watch these young kids come out of college, right? And they're on cloud nine. They just got drafted. They got a lot of money in their pocket. A lot of them are good kids. C.J. Stroud, Bryce Young, Justin Fields, Mitch. All these kids are good kids, and they want to go out and play at a competitive level. And they go to a shitty fucking situation, and like Justin Fields in Chicago, right? They dismantled that team from under his feet, rebuilt. Oh, we're gonna stick behind Justin Fields. Didn't do anything about it for 3 years, and then shit canned him. He was like the highest prospect coming into college out of high school ever. I think Trevor Lawrence may have been a little bit higher. Um, and coming out of college, he somehow fell to us at 11, and everybody's like, "Holy shit! Like the Bears got Justin Fields. This is huge." And we just killed this kid's confidence. It was like, "Oh, you're starting behind Andy Dalton. Oh, we're going to get you thrown into a game where the Browns defense is just going to destroy you." And don't develop him. And you can't and I think after the season if we don't see Bryce Young improve, it's going to be a too late scenario and they're going to be looking for the next quarterback. And it's
Yeah.
100% blame on the NFL team. I don't think Bryce Young is
Mm-hmm.
bad. I don't think Mitchell Trubisky is bad. I don't think Mac Jones is bad or fucking Zach Wilson. I think these kids just get their confidence fucking crushed in that it is. I feel like football is just like a six is 60 is like 50-50. It's like 50% of it is 100% your mental state, and the other 50%, of course, is athletic ability. If you're just a pure athlete like Myles Garrett, you're gonna fucking dominate at a very high level for a very long time. But
Yeah.
it just
Yeah, I mean, I said the same thing about when Brady Quinn got drafted. Well, when he got drafted to the Browns, like I think if Brady Quinn would have went to any other team, like or any other like team that needed a quarterback, I think he would have been average. But everyone considers him a bust now because he went to the Browns and he
yeah.
didn't have much over there. I mean, the Browns that was when the Browns were really really bad. I mean. It sucks to see you got guys. I mean, think about Jimmy Clausen. Jimmy Clausen was
Yep.
another one.
But I mean,
One of
look
the
at
highest.
Eli Manning. I mean, so kind of to branch off of this topic, with the whole quarterbacks going into a shitty situation could ruin their careers, yada yada yada. With what like, do you disagree with what Deion Sanders said of like, if there's a shitty team who's gonna pick, like say the Browns, right? I mean, and they're not shitty,
hmm
but like with Shakir, do you agree with that or do you disagree with that?
What did he say? Oh, that he like
Basically,
that he wouldn't play for.
he's gonna pull a Manning where he would just be like, I'm not playing. You're basically going to fucking send my kid to where he wants to go, and then
Um. So I agree with him kind of to a degree. like obviously if it's not the right fit, then it's not the right fit. Like if I'm Shadur Sanders and the Giants are sitting there at number one, number two, and they're going a quarterback, I would be a little frightened because the Giants are in one of the worst situations for a rebuild. I think
I
because
don't though.
well,
I feel like the Giants literally
actually,
have a
yeah.
really good situation for a quarterback to go in. Like he's
Well,
gonna
their
go in.
defense is bad.
Yeah, but on
So
offense, right? Like the one thing that the quarterback can control, he's
well,
gonna have
all they have is neighbors.
no
That's all they have.
Jalen Hyatt.
Mm.
Jalen Hyatt was their first or second round pick last year. Jalen Hyatt, like, was one of the greatest college wide receiver. He had one of the greatest college wide receiver years ever.
I mean, yeah,
The
but
dude was a fucking
okay.
animal. Like he is a good wide receiver. I will not
I
tolerate
mean, yeah, you
any.
see that all the time
J-
in college, though.
I dude, I will not tolerate any Jalen Hyatt
I'm
slander.
not saying
He's
he's a
fucking
bum.
awesome.
Saying he's a bum, but I mean, that's two guys that are
Oh,
unproven
Devin
right now.
Singletary. They have Brian Burns.
It's on defense, you fool.
But
It's
you
on
were saying their
defense.
defense is not good. I'm not saying that their defense is
Their
good.
defense got smoked by fucking Sam Darnold, my guy.
Well, okay,
Sam
first of all,
Darnold.
dude, any given Sunday, every dog has its day.
I actually am. Excuse
Dude,
me.
come on.
I think Darnold is actually going to have a pretty good year this year in Minnesota.
I
Honestly,
do too.
I
That's what I'm
think
saying. Look at all the weapons he
like
has.
I think he's finally kind of figured it out after like being with Kyle Shanahan last year
Uh-huh.
or last 2 years.
Yep.
I think they finally taught him how to play quarterback, and he's still young. And I actually do like the coach in Minnesota. I think he's a good coach. I mean, for God's sakes, he took Nick Mullins and fucking Dobbs to look like decent quarterbacks at times last
Mhm.
year. So it's like I think he's in a good situation, but they only committed to him for a year, and they have McCarthy. So I think this is probably just a tryout for another team. Maybe going back to Carolina, maybe going
I will
somewhere
say
else that needs a quarterback
I
in the
will say
time.
the Giants defense or offensive line is pretty fucking abysmal. Um
That's what I'm saying. They're bad.
well
They
yeah,
are top to bottom. They are a bad team.
okay,
It's not just
I think they're
Daniel
hold on.
Jones.
Hold
It's not
on.
just Daniel Jones.
I think their running back room is okay. I think their wide receiver room is a lot
Plus
better than people
Singletary and
think.
who?
I can't. The other dude's name is pretty long. I can't remember his name. Um,
Well, wide receiver room is young,
yeah,
which is a good
but a
thing.
lot of
But
upside.
they're just unproven. And yes, that has to do with the
Oh, Eric
quarterback. But
Gray.
they're just unproven.
They have Eric Gray.
They're just unproven right now.
Yeah.
And maybe if they do get a quarterback in there, maybe they'll light it up, and maybe they will be one of the top receiver rooms, in the league. But you gotta see that. You gotta see those that come to fruition. You can't just say, "Oh, because they were really good in college." I mean,
No,
yes,
I understand that.
yeah, but I mean, but as of right now, top to bottom, Giants fucking suck. They're awful. Top
Yeah.
to bottom, they're awful. That's why it really sucks to be a Giant fan this year. I know this is probably what like Jet fans had to deal with for the most part for 5 out of the last 10 years, because there were some years where it was like, all right, this is a year we bounce back. Never happened, but it's a shitty time. I mean, they invested in the wrong guy. I mean, Daniel Jones literally looks like a fucking varsity fucking quarterback.
He's
I
just
mean,
so bad. He literally is just so bad.
oh my god, the Giants should have risked it and fucking just took the quarterback
I wouldn't
and
even have done
fucking
that. You know what I would have done this year if I was them? I
what?
would have just fucking rolled with Tommy DeVito and just drafted everything else that they needed. I would have traded back, got a haul,
Yeah,
and fucking drafted every single
yeah.
thing that they needed.
Minnesota, and Oakland were looking to come up. I am
Yeah,
shocked that the Giants didn't do that.
yeah, I would have done
But
that. Like, I would not have stayed where they were at.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. I mean, there are new receivers coming out every year. They could have easily gotten one
yep,
at the perfect time for the rebuild. It would
yep.
have been fine.
Okay, so let's go through. So let's just count that as our Giants and Vikings recap. The Vikings look better than expected.
Yep.
Justin Jefferson, Aaron Jones is Aaron Jones. They look fucking great. Ravens and Chiefs. Anything that surprised you besides pretty horrendous calling of officiating.
Uh, I'm shocked that Lamar Jackson is still not a passer. I mean, like it blows my mind I don't know if it's just the calling that they're doing, but for an MVP quarterback, this guy just loves to run, and it's great to watch because he's so fast and like that's his thing. But it just blows my mind that this guy still can't fucking like lead a game winning drive in the air. I
Hmm.
mean, granted, he was a toe away from tying the game, but I mean, he just does everything with his legs, and like that's not the way they're built. They are never built to be behind.
Yeah.
They're built to be ahead and just run out the clock, and that's what Lamar is great at, is just running the ball.
Yep.
But for an MVP quarterback, I don't think he's ever going to get to a Super Bowl. A lot of these mobile quarterbacks, like name a mobile quarterback that couldn't pass that has made it to the Super Bowl, or like that won a Super Bowl. Like there are very few,
Hmm.
and you cannot win like that. And I think that is something that like kind of opened my eyes watching that. That opener was what the like. I think Baltimore is good enough to be in the playoffs,
Yeah.
but I don't think they're ever going to take that step into the Super Bowl.
And I thought they were like,
And if they do, I think they'll lose.
I honestly think that like the play calling was so atrocious because the first half Derrick Henry was like the Chiefs had no answer for him.
Yeah.
And then the second half they're like, "Okay, my boy, here is 5 carries for the whole half."
Yep.
And it's like
Yeah.
I agree.
It's like the AFC Championship game all
yep,
over again.
it's yep, and I agree with you. It's like Baltimore is like the moment they're playing from behind, they just can't do it. They just don't. They have no idea what they're doing.
Nope. And it was crazy because he moved the ball. He
Yeah.
moved the ball down the field,
Yep.
and they had time.
Yep.
Like the last play, there was 5 seconds, and that was the game. But it's just crazy how this guy cannot like put together a game-winning drive in the air. Like he's got to
Hmm.
run for big chunks and do these short little outs, which is great. But I mean, do you want that in a Super Bowl winning quarterback? Like, are you going to be winning Super Bowls like
Yeah,
that? I
it's
don't
like, do
know.
you want that in a Super Bowl winning quarterback? Yes, because you want a Super Bowl. Is he going to win a Super Bowl because of that? Probably not.
Yeah, yeah.
Um.
But other than that, like I think the Chiefs are good. I mean,
Mhm.
they obviously they're good. They have Pat Mahomes, but I mean that game was probably as expected.
Yep. Eagles Packers. Any thoughts from that? I mean, Saquon. It just goes back to the
Jordan
Giants.
Love is a fucking roller coaster.
Yeah. He
Like
is.
every time I'm about to say like, oh, this guy, why is this guy the starting quarterback? Like he throws like a 40-yard pass and
Yeah.
moves the ball down the field, and
Mhm.
like every time I'm like, oh wow, he actually shows, and then like the next minute he's like three and out, and then three and out, and then
And it's like
just so I'm about
it's
to
like a
say it again.
horrendous 3-and-out. It's not like, oh, we got close.
Yeah,
It's literally like,
yeah. It's like he's waiting for me to say what the hell is this guy
yeah.
doing as a starting
Mhm.
quarterback, and then he's like, oh yeah, let me play quarterback now.
Yeah.
Like it's like it sucks. I mean, the coach is saying that he might play like fucking Sunday, which I've heard he's out 3 to 4 weeks. But the coach is like, well, he might play.
Yeah.
Like just rest him, dude. Like
Yeah.
let him come
Don't.
back fucking healthy. Like,
Yep.
but I mean, the Packers better than I thought they would be this year. Like everyone was super hyped on them. I
Mhm.
wasn't. I mean, I think they're going to be a good team. Well, maybe not now because they have Malik Willis. But Eagles definitely shaky start,
I don't.
but
Yeah. I
definitely
don't
came
think.
along.
I don't think that. I don't. I don't know about Jordan Love yet. Like, I think he shows like flashes of just being fucking great, like a Josh Allen, Joe Burrow type level quarterback.
Mhm.
But it's so, like you said, it's such a roller coaster and it's so inconsistent that it's like, dude, it's like 1 minute you look like Malik Willis, and the next minute you literally look like Aaron Rodgers, prime Aaron Rodgers, and I can't wrap my mind around it. And
Yeah,
so like,
I mean, we also have a very small sample size with
and
him,
that's what I'm saying,
but
right?
still,
And that's what I'm getting at is, you know, how as an NFL organization do you see this guy play 8 good games? Because remember, the start of last year, he was fucking ass. He was not good,
hmm
and there was no flashes of anything. And then it finally clicked, and the flashes started coming. Still wasn't the most consistent quarterback, but he played pretty fucking good. And they're like, "Yep, this is our guy. Here's the second biggest contract in NFL fucking history."
Yeah, that blew my mind.
That's
The
what I
fact that
don't
he got
get.
50 something million dollars for
55
eight
million,
games.
yeah, $55 million a year for 8 games. That's what I don't understand about it. And that's like my only knock on the Packers is it's like, dude, you guys better fucking hope this works out, because if it doesn't, your guys' wide receiver room is very mediocre. You have a
Yep.
aging Josh Jacobs, and your defense can't stay healthy. And your wide receivers honestly can't stay healthy either. So if Jordan Love doesn't fucking work out, you guys are going basically to purgatory.
Yeah. Yeah, and that, I mean that's the gamble is you're just taking a chance thinking that this is your guy and
hmm
locking him up for 5 6 years, whatever the deal
it could
was.
it
And
could be one of the best contracts ever. I think if he gets them a Super Bowl, but it also could be one of the worst, like the second or no, it'd be the third worst contract in the NFL if it doesn't work out.
yeah,
Behind
I
Daniel
think that's just
Jones
the
and
risk you got to
behind
take nowadays with quarterbacks.
yeah, and behind
It's either
go ahead.
sorry, again. Oh yeah, so I was gonna say it's you either got to take a shot on your guy that you already know is proven on your team, or you got to take a shot at a rookie or a young dude that you drafted and
hmm
hope that he sticks because financially you're not going to be able to put pieces around them, or you just get lucky and you get a fucking Pat Mahomes who's a fucking god, and you know, and you just survive like that.
Yeah, basically like, hey, I'm gonna take a discount because I just want to win Super Bowls at this point. It's not really about money. I've
Yeah,
already made a lot. I've already made like $500 million. I just want to win Super Bowls.
yeah. I
Um,
think that's what his. I think he's going to go one more decently big deal, and then I think he's going to just start winning. I'm just going to take Super Bowls from now on.
yeah. Um, Eagles look good. I think they're talented. They're a very good team. I don't really have anything to say on them. Panthers are ass. I really don't have anything to say on them. I feel fucking awful for Bryce Young because I feel like it's just the same thing that Justin Fields went through. And in like
Yep.
3 years, they're just going to, because they got a lot of picks for Brian Burns and they traded a lot of their team away and Christian McCaffrey and all that shit. Unfortunately, I think it's just going to be too late for Bryce Young and he's going to, they're just going to move on. Derek Carr lit him up, so I don't really have anything to say about the Saints. Giants, Vikings, we already
Yeah.
covered.
Yeah. I mean, the
Patriots,
Saints.
Bengals. This one's for our buddy Austin. Um,
I think the Bengals are in a lot deeper shit than
yes,
they think.
yes, I agree a lot.
Now I know it's week one, and Burrow always starts off shitty, and he
Yep,
figures it out.
but here's the thing:
But
they're playing a good Kansas City team next week, a very
yep,
good Kansas City team, and they could easily be 0-3 very, very soon. Because they play, well, I guess they won't, because they play the Chiefs and then they play the Commanders and Panthers. But if they get mollywopped by the Chiefs, who's to say the Commanders don't go in there and light their asses up? You know?
yeah,
Because I mean, who would have thought the Patriots would have beat them, right?
yeah.
So,
Well, I mean, also like Burrow coming off of this wrist injury, like I was listening to Unsportsmanlike this morning, and then like even like the professionals are talking about this wrist injury,
mhm.
and they're saying they haven't seen many quarterbacks like get this wrist injury, and like usually you see like quarterbacks with their knees or their shoulders, and you see them come back or their Achilles, and like you have data to show like oh this is how they've like been affected by it.
Did you
Not
throw
many
the
people have
Achilles
like
in there for just to make yourself feel better about Aaron Rodgers? Like he's gonna be okay.
nah. No, I mean I just remembered him and Kirk Cousins, but yeah. Anyway, so like there's no like data coming off of this wrist injury. Like not many quarterbacks have dealt with it, so it's like we might not be seeing the best or like Joe Burrow come back to himself. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I'm
Yep.
sure like Austin's probably like thinking, oh, it's just a fucking wrist injury, he's fine, but. I mean, you don't know how that really is affecting him, and that might have been part of the reason why they were so bad. Maybe his wrist is still fucked up.
Yeah.
And because you would think him and Chase are like fucking tight at this point,
Mm-hmm.
and they're always on the same page, so you don't want to blame that. But also, the other issue is they spent so much money on offense between Burrow and Chase, or they're gonna probably drop a lot of money in Chase, that they lost like a lot of their secondary. They lost the safety Bates, and they lost a couple other
And
fucking big pieces. So
Bates is actually super good, and so that I think really hurts them.
yeah, I mean this is what the world we live in, where everyone's throwing so much money into offense that they're deep, and it's like two guys on offense. It's not even one.
Mm-hmm.
It's not even like a whole offense. It's fucking two guys. So it's I think giving Burrow that money, and then having Chase want money, and then Higgins want money. I think it's gonna come back to bite Cincinnati in the ass. And I'd love to see Burrow win one. I mean, I do like Joe Burrow, but I mean, I think that, and like I said, the I guess the statement goes for pretty much everyone across the league. It's week one, but that's another part of this is that teams don't play their guys in the preseason, so they're all shaking off rust in the first week.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone looks like everyone like watching games on Sunday. Most teams didn't look great. I mean, they looked good at times, but most of the teams didn't look great. Like
Yeah.
even the games that were blowouts, like they still looked rusty, and it was like, oh, like maybe they should start playing these guys in preseason like they used to.
Mm-hmm.
Give them 2 quarters, or give them a quarter of the first game, give them 2 quarters the second game, and maybe like the opening drive in the third game. Is that way they have all these live reps. But it's yeah. If I'm Cincinnati, I'm not throwing in the towel, but my ears are perked up and clenching a little bit coming up in the next couple weeks.
Yeah. No, for sure. Um, I don't. I think I do still kind of think that it was a the Patriots was a spoof win, right? Because
Yeah,
if they play that game 20 more times, the Bengals probably win, you know, 18 of the
yeah,
20. Um, Bengals still good. They have to pay Jamar Chase. They got to fix their defense. Um, I think I heard someone, I can't remember who it was, so I can't really give credit to anybody. But it may have been Big Cat on part of my take, but somebody basically said like the Chiefs just basically beat like all the AFC other contending AFC teams to the rebuild and still won. And so like the Bills, the Ravens, the Bengals are just kind of behind on the rebuild phase. And so I mean the Ravens are built, they're a very good team, but like the Bills and Bengals are just behind on that portion. And so it's gonna be super hard to compete with the Chiefs. But I think the Bengals are, I don't know, I think they'll be okay. I just I don't know. They didn't have T Higgins. They need T Higgins out there. They need somebody else who's gonna get those jump balls, and it's just a big target for Burrow. Um, but anyways, let's keep chipping away. Steelers Falcons. Um, I don't really have much to say about this one.
the thing I will say about Pittsburgh,
Yes.
and it was one of the greatest quotes I've probably seen. Have you ever seen Little Big League?
No. Mm-mm.
So a movie about a kid who coached the Twins, but
Okay.
long story short, his idol is like this aging fucking guy, and they're talking about getting rid of him. He hits a dinky little fucking single, and the kid goes nuts. He goes, "Yeah, this is him coming out of the slump." And the coach says, "Son, if you don't you think there's something wrong if you get super excited about a seeing eye single?" And they end up cutting the guy, and it kind of brought me to Justin Fields.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yes, he moved the sticks
Yes.
with his legs and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
but if Pittsburgh is getting super excited about that in a
Mm-hmm.
win against Atlanta, something is wrong.
Yeah. But I
Something is
think
very wrong. If if you like, granted, yes, new system week 1, got it, all that shit.
Yeah, and he
But
wasn't like supposed to start either. So, how
I
many
don't
reps did he
buy that.
get?
I
How
got
many reps
yes.
did he get, right? Like they didn't, they probably gave him a lot of reps to Russell Wilson.
I mean, in practice, sure, but none of them got reps in preseason anyway, except Justin.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not, I will always root for Justin Fields. Justin Fields will always have a place in my heart as one of my
Yes.
favorite football players ever. Like, and that's a big statement. Like, we're talking ever.
Mm-hmm.
I love Justin Fields. Um, it goes like Devin Hester and probably Justin Fields are my top 2 favorite NFL players. And I am happy for him. He moved the sixth. His defense did what they needed to do to win that game. We're going to talk about somebody else who really didn't have a good performance at all, and they still won here in, 3 or 4 games. But, I'm happy for Justin Fields. I'm happy he got that win. I'm happy that they're like, hey, you're starting week 2. And you know what? I hope he does, and I hope they win. I hope that they win this week. And Justin
I hope
Fields.
he just figures it out. You know what
Yeah,
I
me
mean?
too.
I hope
I
he
hope they
just.
go in and play the Broncos because they
Like,
play.
I don't want him to. I don't want him to be that quarterback that like. And I hate the Steelers. I despise the Steelers
Oh,
mostly
okay.
because they're fans, but I hate the Steelers.
Mhm.
But I want to see him become a quarterback. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I do too. I want to
I
see
want
him.
him. I want Lamar. I want them to be passers, like,
Yep.
and use their legs in desperation. I don't
Yep.
want them to just move sticks just because they can run. Like
Yeah.
we get it, you can run. Like even
Yeah.
some of the white quarterbacks nowadays, they can run.
Daniel Jones.
You
I
know?
mean, Josh Allen.
Yeah, that's all he can do. That's all he
Yeah.
fucking can do.
Yeah. I want to see. I
And
want to see Justin Fields. I agree. I want to see him take that next leap, and I want to see the Steelers win like 5 or 6 games because of Justin Fields, right? Because
yeah,
he
where
goes
where
out
he
there.
throws for like 270,
Yep.
300,
Exactly. Right. And he has
4
3.
touchdowns,
Yep.
maybe a
Yep.
pick.
Yep.
And
And a
he
pick's
pushes the
fine.
ball down the
Yep.
field.
Yep, and he moves the chains through the air, and he throws a pick, but he has 4 touchdowns, and it's like, this is 100% on Justin Fields. I want to see him be a long-term solution for the Steelers. I really do. I don't have a problem with the
Yeah.
Steelers. I want to see nothing but success for Justin Fields. And so what I took, like, that quote and that story you told about Little Big League, I think it's a start for Fields, and I just hope that next week against the Broncos he lights them up. So then there's no competition anymore. Like Mike
Yeah.
Tomlin is just like, hey, we are riding Justin Fields because he's the hot hand right now, and we're
Yeah.
gonna continue riding him. And he takes them to the playoffs. They get bounced, but they're like, hey, we have our guy now, right? We have our guy. I could like Mike Tomlin, and I get my buddy at the barbershop is a huge fucking Steelers fan, and I always give him shit about Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin is a very good
Yeah.
coach. Mike Tomlin is
Of
more
course.
he's a leader of men, right?
Yeah,
He
he's not an X's and O's guy.
Yes. Nope.
He's just a natural born leader.
Yep.
And that's what your
Exactly.
head coach should be. That's what
Yep.
Lombardi was.
Exactly.
Lombardi didn't know offenses. Lombardi didn't know defenses.
Yep.
Lombardi just said, "Hey, offensive guy, get my fucking offense rolling. Defensive guy, get my fucking defense going."
Yep.
Like shit like that. And that's what a
Mhm.
head coach should be.
Yeah, because you have those head coaches who are X's and O's guys like
Shanahan.
Shanahan and whatever the fuck his name is down in Miami and
McDaniel.
McDaniel. But like if in a head coach I want to see that, right? I want to see the guy who's just a leader of men. I just want to see a guy who who knows how to play football, who knows where guys where guys need to be and when they need to be there, and not necessarily X's and O's. And I want to see a head coach who is just like we're right, like Dan Campbell, dude. Perfect example.
Yeah, that's why Dan Campbell is
Yep.
doing so well in Detroit, man.
He
He
rallies
is a
the
leader
troops.
of men.
Yep, he lets some tears out because he's so emotional about the game and he's so emotional for his guys. But his guys will fucking run in front of a train for him, right? And that's
Yeah.
all you need. And so
Yep.
I just, we'll move past Steelers Falcons. Not much going on. That game was pretty fucking boring. But I just really want to see Justin Fields succeed. I
Yep.
love Justin Fields. He literally, if Justin Fields was in any sort of danger, I would be on the first flight to save him. I love Justin Fields. He is literally he's my Pookie Bear. Okay, Texans Colts.
It was definitely a good game.
It was a great game.
For a bit.
That was a great game.
Yeah.
27-29. CJ Stroud looks amazing. He's the most.
Richardson had that one nice fucking throw. Oh my god,
dude, that was a nuke, bro.
Yeah, that was a fucking
that was
bomb,
so
dude.
Good, dude.
I think the Colts and Texans are coming out of the South, man. I think they're.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah.
I will say CJ Stroud. I feel like
assuming everybody stays healthy.
Yes. Yeah. I feel like CJ Stroud is like the most accurate passer I've ever seen. Is that crazy to say? Like he is so fucking accurate with that football. I'm in awe every time he fucking throws that ball. I'm just like, how did you know that guy was gonna be there? How did you know? Like how did you fit that ball in that window? And I know it's a lot of. He has good.
I think
receivers.
It's impressive.
He has good.
No, I think it's impressive his accuracy for being so young. I definitely will say that.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, you're talking about some fucking goats here.
It was more of a metaphor, like I guess hyperbole or whatever the fuck. It was. I'm fucking glazing him right now. CJ Stroud is just really.
No, I know.
He's very accurate though. He is very accurate. And like you said, I think. I guess that's a good way to put it. I think to me, what blows my mind is how accurate and how smart he is with the football and how young he is. He's what, 23?
Yep. It's 2 years in the league and or 1 year in a game, and he's throwing the ball like this. I mean, it's fucking very impressive.
Dude, he's not even 23 yet. The dude's 22.
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
Stupid young, dude.
Yep, it's crazy. He's so good. I really like CJ Stroud. He's very humble. He's
I hope he keeps it up, man. Yep. I really hope he keeps it up because the sophomore year is usually the one that most people fear, because that's like, the rookie, because nobody knows who he is and there's not much game tape on him. And then the second year, it's like, okay, we got you figured out, bitch. And then usually they suck, but I mean, he's got a good team around him. He's got a good coach.
Yep.
I think Houston's definitely going to be one of the top teams. I don't know if they're bowl bound. I don't know yet, but we'll see.
Yep. Bills Cardinals. Josh Allen is fucking awesome.
Fuck Kyler Murray, dude. My God.
Hold on. Let's talk about the Bills really quick, and it can be quick. Khalil Shakir is awesome. Keon Coleman, I don't know why they used the first round pick on him if they don't fucking use him. James, we could talk about today's game. The Bills mollywopped the Dolphins because it just ended. James Cook had an absolute night.
Yep.
But that's our Thursday night football coverage. The Dolphins suck. Tua. We'll get into no. We'll get into that later. But Bills Cardinals.
Bills are definitely a team that I think offensively they'll be good. What scares me is their secondary.
Yeah,
they're all new good, and like their defense used to run through Poyer and Hyde.
Yep.
And now they're gone, so it's like, can their secondary step up? Yep. And if their secondary steps up, I think they will be okay. But that is probably out of the Bills, that's the part, if I was a Bills fan, that's scaring me, because their line is good, Cook is good, Allen's good, as long as he keeps the ball out of the other team's hands, and he stays healthy and all this other shit. But I think the Bills will be good. Just their secondary is what scares me.
Yep.
And as for the Cardinals, how does Kyler Murray miss a wide open Marvin? This is beyond fantasy.
Well,
how does he miss Marvin Harrison Jr., where there is not a soul near him? All he had to do was throw it downfield, and they might have closed that game out and won.
Well,
but oh my lord!
It's not his responsibility to get the ball there.
Yeah. I get what he's trying to say, where it's like he's not supposed to cater to, individual stats for these guys. I get what he's trying to say, but what that came off as was like, it's not my job to fucking win.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck that, dude. I'm just here to play. Like, fuck
Yeah.
that, bro. He's one of the most immature quarterbacks I've ever fucking met or ever heard of in my life.
And it's about to get worse because Call of Duty comes out in a month. So, I mean...
That's when you start making the prop bets, dog.
Yep, exactly. Okay. God, I don't even want to talk about this one. Bears-Titans.
Good.
A
very sloppy win, but a win nonetheless.
Yeah, you know what? That's what I told myself at the end of the game because I was losing my mind during the game, and I will speak on a lot of things during this because I unfortunately root for this team. A win's a win, right? In the NFL, at the end of the day, nobody's going to go back and look at week 1. If you go to the playoffs and get a win, right, people are like, oh, they won a playoff game last year. They're not going to be like, yeah, they got a playoff win, but week 1 really was blah, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
The defense, I think, is a top 3 defense in the league. Tyreek Stevenson and Jalen Johnson are the best cornerback duo in the league, and it's not close. They are so fucking good. They lock down everybody. Our linebackers are good. Our defensive line stepped up. We pressured the shit out of Will Levis, and his offensive line isn't bad either. That's a solid offensive line. Our defensive line is just gross. Jerron Dexter, he played out of his mind. Montez Sweat was kind of silent, but everybody else stepped up. And I think that Andrew Billings, fucking MVP of the week. That dude is chasing down people. He's playing off the edge. Like, Andrew Billings he is an athlete, right? He is a 360 or 50 or whatever pound man athlete, right? Brick wall, stops the run, chases down fucking tight ends. He's awesome. And so, our defense, I have nothing bad to say.
Yeah, I mean, your defense definitely, from the little bits and pieces I saw as I was bouncing around games, your defense looked pretty good. I mean, definitely some work, but it's like I said, week 1.
You know what? Yeah, I will say this. The one thing I was most impressed about for this game was we went into halftime down 17-0, and we came back and actually made adjustments. I don't even know the last time a Bears quarterback would go into halftime and make adjustments. I honestly cannot tell you. It maybe the John Fox era. Mark Trestman maybe. I fucking don't know. I don't know when the last time we were down at half and we came back and looked like a completely different defense and we schemed different, right?
Yeah.
It was mind-boggling. I'm like, Eberflus, is this you? Are you actually doing this? So that was very cool to see. But let's talk about the ugly. Caleb Williams played bad. I will say that.
Yeah.
He played bad.
I mean, history wasn't on his side. There hasn't been many week 1 quarterbacks that have really lit it up. So, I mean,
20 years since it happened.
Yeah, I don't blame him. I don't blame him for being bad. I mean, I guess it is his fault because he played bad, but
I think
it usually happens with a rookie quarterback, especially number 1.
Yep. I think also that Shane Waldron didn't help at all. Romo Dunze and DJ Moore were fucking blocking more than they were running routes. The scheming was awful. DJ Moore, Odunze, DJ Moore, Allen, and Swift only played a combined 8 snaps together or 10 snaps together, which is unacceptable in my opinion. Absolutely unacceptable. You're spending the fucking money on these guys. You have one of the best core offensive players in the league, or core offenses in the league, right? DeAndre Swift, Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, Romo Dunze, and Cole Kmet. One of the best on paper offenses in the league, and Caleb Williams at the field general. You fucking play them as much as you can together. They come off when they're tired, and then you put their ass right back on the field.
Yeah, the only one I would say to watch his snaps is Keenan Allen because he's old and he's injury prone. That would have been the only one I would have said, hey, maybe take him off the field a little bit more than others.
Yep.
But I mean, you also got to say props to the Titans front line because their defensive line is pretty damn good.
Their defensive line is good.
You know, the Bears' offensive line kind of held everyone at times, but I mean, you know, it's the Titans' front line is really good, but I mean, still some work on that front offensive line. But you know, I don't know who you guys are playing week 2, but you know, maybe
we get to play Houston.
Oh, good! Yeah, good luck.
Yeah, so I think it'll be a closer game than people think. But here, before we move on from Bears, I want to say one last thing.
Good.
If Caleb Williams, if 2 passes go his way, right, that bomb to Keenan Allen, which would have been a walk-in touchdown, and then the touchdown pass that Keenan Allen dropped, we would be having a very, very, very different conversation, and everybody in the media would have a very, very, very different conversation about Caleb Williams, because if he hits those 2, he's at, I don't know, sure, he's only at like 160 passing yards or 170 passing yards maybe, but he has 2 touchdowns and no interceptions. And I will say this, the ball got tipped a lot, but if we can take those away, and you know, he can learn how to what did Brian Bollinger say today? What I heard, basically, like, you know, he can learn how to pass through the trees, not over them. He's gonna be fine, right? He says he doesn't get nervous. Everybody gets nervous. It's a fucking natural human thing, and that's okay. If those 2 passes go his way, we are crowning Caleb Williams as the king of Chicago. I really do hope that this next week against Houston, I hope it's a duel. That's all I hope. Even if we lose, I honestly could care less if we lose. If Caleb Williams goes out there and him and CJ Stroud are like 250 to 280 yards, and both of them, I'm like 2 or 3 touchdown passes, and it's a duel, and they sneak away and get a field goal on us last minute, or they win by a touchdown, right? I will be very happy with the way where Caleb Williams' trajectory is going. I will be, right? So, you know, I'm optimistic. I hope this week things turn around on offense. We need to figure out the line, but other than that, like we said at the beginning, win's a win. We started 1-0, and you know, we're not going into Houston looking at possibly going 0-2 to start the season. So,
and just a quick on the other side of the fucking ball, dude. Fucking what the fuck was Will Levis doing on that play? Oh my god!
He hit the surrender cobra. Like, I mean, that was fucking hilarious.
Oh my god!
Yep.
That was like the second time he did that in that game. Dude, if I'm the Titans too, I'm like thinking about this. Like, what the fuck is this guy doing?
Mm-hmm.
Like, yo, Will, like, you don't have to like make these Pat Mahomes plays, bro. Like, you don't have that it factor, man. Like, if you're going down, just go down. Like, don't fucking flick it up in the air, because there's about 4 or 5 other shirt guys that are just chilling there.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, very, very lucky for you guys that he did that. But,
yep.
But yeah, Titans definitely got a lot of work to do for those Titans.
Yep.
Okay. What we got next?
Dolphins, Jaguars. I mean,
I still don't believe in. I mean, granted, this is all coming from tonight, but you know, the Dolphins just beat bad teams.
Yep,
that's all they do.
They're frauds. Yep, teams. They just punch down on bad teams, and that's it.
Yeah.
And Tua's out. Let's cover these last few games, and we'll speak on the Bills and Dolphins game a little bit more. And but yeah, they just beat bad teams, and that's it. Broncos, Seahawks. Seahawks defense looks good. Bo Nix, once again, rookie. Can't blame him.
Yeah. Broncos defense got 2 safeties that day, so.
Yep.
Good for them. Broncos defense looks pretty decent. I mean, Bo Nix got a lot of work to do.
Yep.
Geno Smith, just taking steps back. It seems like
Mm-hmm.
from his good year, he's like
Yep.
taking 2 steps back every fucking year.
Yep.
But I think Seattle is probably going to be at best a wild card team again. But
Yep.
I don't even think they're going to get that.
Yeah. Raiders, Chargers. The Raiders just don't have a quarterback. I think.
Yeah, as much as I love Gardner Mania, dude,
Yeah,
I love Gardner Minshew.
I do.
But
Gardner Minshew's a
I
fucking boss.
I want him to be good somewhere so bad.
Yep.
But I think
It's like
they should
every
have
time I think of Gardner
probably.
Minshew, I just immediately think back to like Jaguar, Minshew mania.
Yeah, Uncle Rico,
Yeah,
baby.
and then I'm like, oh yeah, that was like 4 years ago, and he's kind of sucked
Yep.
since then.
I mean, he's put up average numbers, man. I mean,
No, he has,
he's
but-
about the middle of the pack, but
But I
he
know,
just
but,
doesn't
like,
win.
during that
That's his
time,
thing.
dude,
He doesn't win.
During that time, people were like, holy fuck, this guy's like a diamond in the rough. He's like, he's gonna be the franchise quarterback for the Jaguars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it sucks, but
Yeah. Jim Harbaugh
But
is
yeah,
he's such a leader of men. I fucking love I love watching Jim Harbaugh coach. That video of him hyping up Justin Herbert on the sideline, and then like after the win, they're in practice and he's flipping the weights with Justin Herbert. Like, dude, he's just another guy.
He's a madman.
Yeah, dude, he's just a guy that people will run through a brick wall for. He wears gloves on the side of the fucking field every game to play catch. I fucking love Jim Harbaugh. I'm so happy he's back in the NFL. And fucking CWA for trying to go after him. Everybody fucking cheats. Who gives a shit? He was unfortunately had a stupid guy who got caught. Fuck him. Like,
did you watch that documentary though?
I didn't know. Apparently he didn't know. I kind of called bullshit on it, but at the end of the day, everybody in college cheats, dude. How about this? How about this, NCAA? How about you just put mics in their helmets? Like,
I think that's what they did now. They have that now.
Yeah, because, like, I don't know, high schools down in, like, Texas and Georgia and North Carolina and Florida, where high school is a big sport, they have fucking mics in their helmets, and the NFL does, so why would they, like, go from that to reading signs that, like, I don't know, some dude on the sideline is just writing down what you're running, and then, like, oh, yeah, okay, this is easy to fucking figure out. Like,
yeah,
it's like they're cavemen. Go use the technology that's available, and this wouldn't have fucking happened. How about that?
Yeah, and the big thing with the whole scandal. Now we're getting sidetracked, but it was just the fact that he apparently went to other teams' games away.
Yeah,
that was the only bad thing that he quote unquote did, even though they all say he didn't.
Yep.
Because you're allowed to look over and look at their signs if you're on the field with them. Yep. You're allowed to do that, and you're allowed to tape it. Because most teams are smart enough to change up their signs the next week. That's the whole point of preparation.
Yeah,
but,
exactly.
Yeah, it's just like, whatever. Like, the NCAA is just, Jim Harbaugh fucking cock-slapped them and said, peace out, dog, and now they're just trying to get back at fucking Michigan.
You're never going to come back here and coach again. And he's like, okay, I won a national championship. Now I'm going to win a Super Bowl, and I'll probably retire in the NFL. Okay, bye.
Yeah, and it wasn't even like if they were, like, with Harbaugh and the sign stealing stopping, you would think they'd be bad, but they were just good. They just beat everyone.
Yep.
They were just a better fucking team.
They were.
Cheating or no cheating. They fucking were a better team.
Yep. Okay, run through these last 4 real quick. Cowboys, Browns. Deshaun Watson's a rapist. And
oh my god,
so
dude.
fucking
Deshaun
bad.
Watson is
and you know what?
Fucking horrible.
Because the next game we're going to talk about is the Buccaneers and Commanders. Only the Browns would give up Baker Mayfield for Deshaun Watson, and then Baker Mayfield looked like the best quarterback in the league now.
Yeah, I mean...
And you know what? That pissed me off because Baker Mayfield did not deserve what
they did to him.
Yep, no. He didn't. He was playing fine. He got them their first playoff win, or got them to the playoffs for the first time in, like, what was it, 20 fucking years or something?
And the only thing he did bad was maybe not give the ball to your stars of, like, Landry and fucking Beckham.
Yeah.
And guess what? You don't even have those guys anymore.
Yeah,
like, you fucking got rid of them.
Yep.
And Landry, I don't even think Landry's even playing in the league anymore.
Yeah.
Like, fuck.
So, the fucking Browns, they're a fucking joke of a franchise. They're literally they're as big of a joke as the fucking Carolina Panthers are now. And now they traded away all their future to have fucking... You know what? I will say this. Right now, if I was the head coach of the Browns, I would just say, hey, Deshaun, we're going to guarantee you all your money because it's guaranteed. We're playing Jameis Winston for the rest of the fucking season and for the rest of your contract. Because with the weapons that they have, where Nick Chubb and Jerome Ford, they have Njoku, they have Elijah Moore, Amari Cooper, and Jerry Jeudy. Give me Jameis Winston, who's going to go out there and throw for 450 yards and have 5 touchdowns and 3 picks, but they win the fucking game because their defense is so good that they can afford Jameis Winston to give the offense the ball 3 times.
I think Deshaun Watson just only wants a system that caters to him and like that he knows.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't want to go out and learn new systems, which
Yeah.
is what I think happened in Houston, and that's why you saw the decline in his play. Obviously, injuries played a part of it too, but I also think that he just like went to he just doesn't like Bill O'Brien put in his offense, and he was just like, no, I don't want to do that. I want to do my way and like the offense I like to run. And that's when he fucking went, and then he goes to Cleveland, and he has not found success in Cleveland.
Yeah.
Like he is fucking awful, and I think he just like doesn't want to learn things, and that he's just so rigid that he's just not going to be the guy. And now the Browns, you literally cannot do anything but sign cheap backups to start over him.
Mm-hmm.
Because if they cut him, that is I think it's $170 million in dead cap space for the next 3 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That is a lot of fucking dead cap space. I mean,
Yeah.
you saw the Broncos did it, but I mean, that was just absolute desperation. But I mean, if they want to do that, cool. But you got to at least carry him to the end of next year,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and then maybe bite the bullet on the last year. But fuck, the Browns are in trouble, and it does not look good. I mean, Deshaun Watson better get his fucking head out of his ass and stop getting fucking massages and happy endings from all these women. But
Yeah.
as for the Cowboys, I mean, yeah, they looked good because they went up against a shitty Browns team. But their offense did what they had to do. They went up against a good Browns defense. They put points on the board, despite Deshaun Watson giving them 3 and outs all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Dak looked decent for that. CeeDee Lamb, all right. I mean, running game looked pretty good with Zeke.
Yeah.
When they play a real team, I'll make my judgment on the Cowboys. But as of now, to be determined.
Yep. Okay. Buccaneers Commanders. Jaden Daniels looked. He's just a Lamar or Justin Fields, but smaller and weaker.
Yeah.
He just runs, and even Dan Quinn came out and said he can't run 16 times a game.
Nope.
So, yeah, okay.
Still a rebuilding in Washington.
Yep.
Obviously week 1, got a lot of work to do. But
I think if they could break his habits of running and fleeing the pocket quick and turn him into a passer, I think the Commanders have a bright future. Terry McLaurin's great. Brian Robinson's great. Their defense is atrocious, but it takes time. 3 to 4 years, the Commanders could be competitive if they make the right moves. They have their quarterback. I think he is their quarterback. I just think that they need to, they just need to tell him, like, hey, man, you don't have to leave the pocket. Like, stick in there, throw the ball, step up in the clock.
Yeah, only use your legs when you have to.
Yep. Buccaneers look good. Mike Evans is. We need to have this conversation now. He is going to be a top 5 wide receiver all time here in 3 to 4 years. He's fucking amazing. He's literally the best red zone. He's a top 5 wide receiver right now, in my opinion. Still, he catches everything. He literally catches everything. And like I said, people may listen to this, be like, you're an idiot to say that he's gonna be a top 5 wide receiver of all time. Yeah, dude, go look at the stats. If he continues this for the next 3 to 4 years, dude, if he continues what he does every year, 1,000 yards, 15 touchdowns, if he continues that for the next 3 to 4 years, he will literally be in the top 5 in every statistical category, which is, catches, touchdowns, not every statistical category, not like fumbled or anything, but, the 2 that matter, touchdowns and yards. He's going to be in the top 5 in both of those. here very soon, and he has a Super Bowl. So I mean, like, how do you not start this conversation now unless there's like a drastic fucking injury? You know, knock on wood.
Yeah.
I hope he's also one of my favorite NFL players. Um, he is just Mr. All reliable. That's what he is. He
Yeah.
is he is like
I'm glad he stayed in Tampa too. I'm
me
very
too.
glad he stayed
Yep,
in Tampa.
me too.
I like him, and I'd like to see him and Baker, get some magic going in
Yep,
Tampa. Like, Tampa obviously won 2 Super Bowls in my lifetime,
yep.
and I like to see a little bit more variety in my Super Bowl winners. But
Yeah, me too.
if I saw Baker Mayfield hoist the Lombardi, I would be
Oh, dude,
very,
if
very
I saw
happy
Baker
for him.
Mayfield hoist the Lombardi, I would be so happy.
Yeah.
You know, aside from the
Oh yeah.
Bears or but yeah,
Right.
I would love.
Aside from your team, but
Yeah,
yeah.
but if Baker gets a hoist the Lombardi just to basically say fuck everybody, like I knew I could do this, I would be happy. I'd be so happy. Um, Rams Lions, two juggernauts. I think.
Yeah,
I think
that was a very, very good game.
I think the Rams and
Um,
Lions are both very good teams. I think the Lions are a really good team. You know, I know Puka Nakua is out for the next 3 to 4 weeks or whatever it is, but um, the Cooper Cup is he's so
he's
fucking
looking
good.
like his old self. He's looking like his old self.
Yeah.
And I think McVay is a good coach. You know, some decisions here and there.
Mhm.
Maybe he does a little things different, but I think he's a great coach. I think Dan Campbell's a good coach. I think Detroit overall is a better team, but I mean the Lions have Stafford when he's healthy. So hopefully they all stay healthy, and if we see them in another divisional fucking round of playoffs, ooh, that's gonna be another fucking slugfest, I think. But we'll see.
Yep. Yeah. Um, and I guess the last game is the Jets and Niners. Um,
The little
so
victories.
yeah, Aaron Rodgers lasted more than 4 plays, so that's good. Um,
The fact that Aikman or Buck, whoever fucking said it, had to bring attention to that fourth play, and then Brees Hall fumbles. Me so riled up, like it's like, oh, here's the fourth play, and then Brees Hall fucking fumbles, and I'm like, Jesus Christ,
mhm.
why? But listen, there's no I did not expect the Jets to win this. Like, sure, like I want the Jets to win. I have honestly did not expect them to win. I was really scared that it was going to happen again. That he was, as you he was seeing. If I sent that video to you, like the Rocky thing, I was, I'm afraid. I'm
Yeah.
afraid. I was actually feeling that way, and I'm like, I think this is going to happen again.
Mhm.
I'm like every time he took the snap, I was wincing. You know, the moral of the story is San Francisco is just a fucking great team.
Yeah, they are.
I mean,
You can't be mad at that week one loss because it's like, okay, dude, you're
nope.
literally playing like the second best team in the league.
The only thing I can be mad at is the fact that the defense looked very bad.
They looked very, very bad.
And I don't know if that's just because San Fran is that good,
Mhm.
or if their defense is overrated. And I think their defense might be. I think because they were talking about oh, we're going to be a historical defense like the '85 Bears. No, you're not. Even with Hassan Reddick, no, you're not. You're going to be a very good defense. You're going to be a
Yep.
top 5 defense, but the fucking Niners just said, hey, we're not even going to have our best player out there, and we're going to run the ball down your throat with this fucking guy that
Mhm.
no one's heard of,
Yep.
and we're going to make him look like a star. And even despite Trent Williams holding out, Ayuk holding out,
Mhm.
Debo being himself, fucking, all this drama that was surrounding the fucking Niners, and they just, show up week one, a couple practices, and they're like, all right, let's run the ball down their fucking throat, and they fucking did it,
Yeah.
and I still consider it a fucking Jet victory, and I know
Mhm.
that's the most like fucking cupcake
Most
way of looking
loser
at it,
talk
but
ever.
oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. But you know what? Rodgers survived. We move on to week 2 against the Titans, which I think if the Jets do not win 2 out of the 4, at least,
Mhm.
Salah should be fired.
Yep.
If they go 1-3 or 0 4 by the end of this next 3 games because they are playing fucking the Titans, the Patriots, and I don't remember who the other team is.
I got it right here. Hold on. So you
It's
guys
another
play
pretty crappy team.
the Titans, the
Titans, Patriots,
and the Broncos.
Broncos, and then there's another team. Who's the one after that?
Fuck, I just had it up. Hold on. Giant. Oh, sorry. So Titans, Patriots, Broncos, Jets, or Vikings. Sorry. You guys play yourself.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So, if they go anything less than 2-2, Robert Saleh should be fired,
Mm-hmm.
and then they got to move on.
So you're already calling him for the hot seat.
He's been on the hot seat. He's been there for 3 fucking years.
Dude, he
hasn't had a winning season.
Wilson, dude. I mean, come
Doesn't
on.
matter. Does not matter. Matter. You have 3. I don't care who his quarterback is. Then he should have got rid of him. If Zach Wilson was 100% the problem, should have got rid of him earlier. Should have benched his ass, and they should have stuck with Mike White, gave him money, and had Mike White be your starter until Aaron Rodgers came. He's had the coaches don't get. I mean, I understand last year was a fluke, and that he might have had a winning season if Rodgers played the whole season. Sure, I buy that, but my God, you cannot have a 4-season losing coach and expect to give him a contract extension. Like, no, I don't care how good that defense is. You can find a million other coaches to coach that. You can keep Jeff Albright, the defensive coordinator, because he's literally running the defense. Like, Saleh does nothing. He literally does nothing. But yeah, like that's hypothetical. I hate Saleh. I don't think he's a good coach. I love the defensive coordinator, and Hackett because he makes Rodgers happy. Sure, don't give a shit.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, Alan Lazard drops the fucking ball, but then he makes it up with 2 other touchdowns. Need more consistency from him. Need Mike Williams to get on the field. Need to get Breece Hall going. The line was the best part of the game.
Yeah.
The line played amazing. Rodgers only, I think, ran for his life once,
Mm-hmm.
and he threw a ball, and I think it was either dropped or that might have been the pick. I don't remember, but yeah, like the fact that line held up, it was orgasmic, and I was very happy about that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, that's our week 1 recap, but we did have a game tonight, and I just want to speak on this really quick before we end, because we kind of already talked about this week for our teams at least, and we'll do a recap again next week. But Tua needs to retire, I think.
Oh yeah.
I think for his own safety and his longevity, I think he needs
his life.
I think he needs, I think he needs to retire. And I'm sure that has to be hard, but dude, he literally went unconscious again. His arm went up, fist clenched. He's going to have like CTE to another degree if he keeps playing, man. And I know it's hard, but like, dude, you can't keep doing that. Like, you're going to kill yourself.
Antonio Brown 2.0, this guy's gonna be.
Yeah, but the Bills mollywop the Dolphins. The Dolphins, I think, forget that they have the fucking fastest offense the fastest players in the league. Tyreek Hill was invisible tonight, and so, yeah, what I took away from this is, Tua, just retire, dude. Get out while you're ahead. You can't keep fucking doing this. And if you want any sort of future at life, I don't know if he has kids. I'm pretty sure he does. Dude, just call it, man. Don't risk it. It's not worth your fucking health. I'm pretty sure if he has to retire medically and retire, I'm pretty sure he gets all of his money. You get your kids' kids will be very well off with the contract you just got. So
yeah, I mean that, or he's gonna have to learn to actually slide. Like they make the quarterbacks like learn that shit. Like, oh, slide.
Yeah.
And, some quarterbacks are guys who can afford to do that, like a Josh Allen, or even a Jared Goff has got some meat on him for a little bit. But these fucking guys just like think they're you're going up against 250-pound linebackers that
Yeah.
that like run 4.4s and 4.5s. Like these guys are fucking just speed demons, dude. Like they're
Mhm.
going to destroy you. And like Tua is built like a toothpick.
Yeah.
Like, well, who do you think? Who do you think you're over? Who do you think you're running? Who do you think you're running into, man? Like Jesus. Like
Yep.
he's gonna get himself killed. So he's either gotta like really start sliding, sacrificing those 2 yards. And I know a lot of these guys are competitive. Oh my
Yep.
God, like we gotta get every yard, fight for every yard. Like, no, you don't. You don't have to fight for every yard. 1 yard is not gonna kill you. This is not the 99 Super Bowl where it literally comes down to 1 yard. But
Mhm.
yeah, that dude's got to learn. He's gonna have to learn, or he is going to end up either severely mentally retarded or possibly worse.
Yeah. Exactly. Um. Right, dude. Well, good pod. I mean, we're like I said, we're back in NFL shape. Um, and I'm just excited to cover the season with you, and hopefully, um, our teams have a lot of success.
Hell
So,
yeah.
because I mean, how cool would it be for the Jets and Bears to make the playoffs, and we're like, there's a chance we could see each other. It's a very, very, very small chance, but if we're both in the playoffs, there's a chance.
Yeah.
And I think that's one we would have to go to, right? I think we'd have to
If it is a Bears and Jets
Jets Super
Super
Bowl. Oh yeah,
Bowl,
we're going. We have to.
we have to.
Yeah, like that's literally like a once in a lifetime thing. But we would go.
Yeah, especially my fucking team. I mean,
Yeah, yeah,
you at least have been to one
yeah.
since you've been alive. I have not. Jets have not even sniffed. Well, I mean, I guess the two FC Championship games, but yeah, they have, have
I was
not
gonna say, what about
been
Mark
to one
Sanchez
since
era?
yeah, the two AFC Championship games are the brightest hope we've ever had. But yeah, not since 1960 fucking 9 has the Jets even been in a Super Bowl. So
Wow.
hopefully one day while I'm alive,
I
that
wonder if that's
changes.
why they say I want to party like it's 1969 because the Jets went. Did you won that Super Bowl, right?
It's party like it's 1999. This Prince's song, but
Oh. Anyways, alrighty. Well, that's the that's the pod for the week. We will see you guys next week.